Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Trading Chief. And in this video, we're gonna skip the intro um, because we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna be looking at a stock merger between Broadcom and Vmware. So two high dollar target stock prices. Um, Broadcom is a chip maker, and Vmware is a cloud software company. But we'll just go over them real quick. It says Broadcom is a global technology company which designs, develops, and supplies semiconductors and infrastructure software solutions. It operates through the semiconductor solution and infrastructure software segments. The semiconductor solutions segment manages movement of data in data center, telecom, enterprise, and embedded networking applications. The infrastructure software segment provides a portfolio of mainframe, enterprise, and storage area networking solutions. The company was founded in 1961 and is headquartered in San Jose, California. VMware engages in the provision of cloud infrastructure and business mobility. Its products include software-defined data center, hybrid cloud computing, and end-user computing. It supports modernizing data centers, integrating public clouds, empowering digital workspaces, and transforming security. The company was founded by Diane Green, Mendel Rosenblum, Scott Devon, Edwin Wang, and Eduardo Bunyan in '98, and is headquartered in Palo Alto, California. So, just two little overviews of the merger that's coming up. Like I said, there's a lot to go over, so stick with me. We're gonna have to the news articles we're going to take a look at start on May 22nd of 2022. So give me just a second while I scroll all the way down through all these news articles. But as I said, there's a lot to talk about and go over here, which you'll see. And this, like I said, I think this merger will likely close in October of 2023. First news article we're going to take a look at is on May 22nd, 2022. This is Broadcom's in talks with VMware. So if we go over it, we look at this one. This is chip maker Broadcom is in talks to acquire VMware for $60 billion. This is Broadcom is in talks to acquire cloud service provider VMware in a $60 billion deal, which would further diversify the chip maker's business into enterprise software. People familiar with the matter said Broadcom is in discussion to pay about $140 per share in cash and stock for VMware. That is a 46% premium to the value of VMware shares on Friday. So again, this was back in May 22nd of 2022. This is Bloomberg News first reported the deal talks on Sunday, while the Wall Street Journal first reported on the acquisition terms on Monday. Broadcom and VMware did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comments. VMware shares ended trading on Monday up 25% at $119.43. It's just a little bit higher than that now. I think it's in the after hours. It's at $123, $123.63. So it's up a little bit from there, but not too much. It says Broadcom makes an array of chips used in products ranging from mobile phones to telecom networks. The acquisition of VMware would give it access to data centers where the latter's technology is a mainstay for cloud customers. Broadcom's chief executive officer, Hock Tan, a Malaysian-American billionaire, has been a prolific deal maker since taking the helm. Well, it was a small chip maker in 2006. Regular acquisitions helped turn the business into a behemoth worth more than $200 billion. Yeah, I keep talking the guy up. It's all right. So let's get out of this. The next one we're going to look at is on is on 5/23. So this one's talking about how the deal is going to be broken down. It says Broadcom potential deal for VMware said to include majority of stock. Broadcom's or AVGO potential deal for VMware or VMW. It said expected to include a majority of the consideration in stock, through where though there will also be a large cash element. Financing for the deal is said to be in place, and a transaction may be announced as soon as this week, according to traders who cited a Bloomberg report. The latest update comes after Bloomberg reported on Sunday night that Broadcom was set in talks to acquire cloud computing VMware. The FT reported that a deal could be valued at about $50 billion. It was more, 60. CNBC's David Faber also reported that a deal could be announced by Thursday, when VMW is scheduled to report its results through material terms of the transaction. So now we know that it's got stock included into it. So it's not just a cash offer. The next one we're going to take a look at is on 5/24/2022. And it's this one right here. Broadcom potential VMware deal said to be a 50-50 stock cash mix. Broadcom purchase of VMware is expected to consist of a 50-50 mix of cash and stock. The deal will also need CFI US approval, according to a report from CNBC's. On Monday, the Wall Street Journal reported that Broadcom is said to discuss paying about $140 per share, or $60 billion to VMware. This is another quick one. 5/24/2022. This one. Broadcom's potential purchase of VMware is likely has antitrust risk report, which it does. It's going through a massive antitrust lawsuit right now. This is acquisition of VMware is expected to see antitrust pushback, especially from other industry players who see VMware as the Switzerland of the data center segment. Although Broadcom and VMware don't directly compete, technology companies from chip makers like Intel to cloud computing companies such as Amazon Web Services work with VMware. Those companies might not want VMware, which they view as a neutral actor, to be owned by Broadcom, according to an earlier report. The potential $60 billion acquisition of VMware also comes with the information previously reported that Broadcom is said to be investigated by the Federal Trade Commission for allegedly mistreating its chip customers. It's also possible that other suitors may now be interested in VMware, such as Microsoft, Google, and Cisco systems. So there's that one. Next one we're going to look at is 5/25. And it's this one right here. It says VMware near session highs after report go to shop. After report of go shop provisions in Broadcom deal. So what Broadcom did to try to navigate the antitrust is they put a go shop provision into the contract, saying that VMware had, I think it was 30 days to go out and ask around to see if anybody else would buy them at a higher price. And it says VMware neared session highs and rose 4.6% on a report that its potential sale to Broadcom is expected to include a go shop period that will allow the company to to other competing bids. Broadcom and VMware are close to announcing a cash and stock transaction that will value VMware at about $140 per share as soon as Thursday before the stock market opens, according to traders who cited a Bloomberg report. VMware is scheduled to report Q1 results on Thursday. So there's that. Next article is going to be on 5/26/2022. And that's this one right here. It says press release VMware reports fiscal year 22 first quarter results. I'm sorry, not this one. This one. Broadcom confirms deal to purchase VMware for $61 billion in cash and stock. It says Broadcom agreed to acquire the VMware for $61 billion in cash and stock. Broadcom rose 1.5%, while VMware was largely unchanged. Under the terms of the deal, VMware holders can elect to receive $142.50 in cash or 0.25 shares of Broadcom common stock for each VMware share. According to a statement, upon close, current Broadcom or AVGO holders will own 88%, and current VMware holders will own 12% of the combined company. The news comes after Bloomberg first reported about a potential combination on Sunday night. The deal is the largest for Broadcom after it attempted to purchase chipmaker Qualcomm for more than $100 billion in 2017, though withdrew its bid in 2018 after the deal was blocked by the Trump administration. The deal is expected to be completed in Broadcom's fiscal year 2023. Broadcom expects to maintain its current dividend policy. A combination is expected to see antitrust pushback, especially from other industry players who see VMware as Switzerland of the data center. The transaction includes a 40-day go shop. Okay, so I was off. I said 30. It's a 40-day go shop provision where VMware and its board can actively solicit alternative takeover proposals, and then which it didn't get any, and then so Michael Dell and Silver Lake, which own 40.2% and 10% of VMware shares outstanding respectively, have signed support agreements to vote in favor of the deal. In connection with the transaction, Broadcom obtained commitments from a consortium of banks for $32 billion in new, fully committed debt financing. So there's that news article. The next news article we're going to take a look at is from June 23rd of 2022. And it's this one right here. Notice how this keeps getting larger. Broadcom's planned $69 billion VMware deal may see long European antitrust reviews. Broadcom's planned $69 billion purchase of VMware is expected to see a lengthy European Union antitrust. Broadcom is in preliminary talks with the EU officials on the combination, which some worry could lead to increased prices, according to an FT report, which cited People Familiar. The deal will likely get a Phase 2 investigation, which could take over a year. Late last month, Broadcom agreed to acquire VMware for about $69 billion in cash and stock. Next, we're going to go to July 5th of 2022. That's this one right here. It says VMware said not to get rival offer and go shop period for Broadcom deal. So the 40 days have passed that they had to go shop. Right in, and they didn't get any offers for it. It says VMware reportedly didn't receive a rival bid in its go shop period for its planned $61 billion sale to Broadcom. VMware, which had 40 days to solicit other interests, may disclose details on its efforts, though plans haven't been finalized. According to the traders who cited a Bloomberg report, VMware has until 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday to solicit other bids. Broadcom's acquisition included a 40-day go shop period where VMware could solicit alternative proposals, with the provision likely added because the deal was completed in just a few weeks. The go shop expiration is just one hurdle that the semiconductor deal has overcome, though the acquisition may see more lengthy regulatory reviews as they keep referring back to VMware as a Switzerland of the data center agreement. So there's that one. I'm going to have to start marking these off because I got so many to look at. We're going to take a look at July 6th. July 6th at 4:22. It says Broadcom's acquisition of VMware looks like a done deal. It says Raymond James analysts expect Broadcom's proposed acquisition of VMware to gain approval, but will take about a year to close the buy. They lower their rating on VMware to market perform from outperform now that the go shop period for the deal has ended with no other bidders. The combination of support from the deal and the prospect of another bidder have supported VMware stock with the expiration of the go shop and long wait of the deal to close. We expect VMware shares to remain stable. Raymond James says in a research note, the analysts say that while many were doubtful that the other buyers would emerge, Raymond James was more hopeful based on the strategic value and arguably greater synergies for other companies. So there's that one. And then the next article we're going to look at is from October 16th, 2022. But what I want to show you, I want to point out something here. So you got all this going on, but look at all these large acquisitions that are coming in. $49,000 position, 433 shares, 199 shares, $3.57 million in VMware. You got they sold $39,000 worth. They sold 267 shares. They sold this company has $736,000 in it. And yes, I know these are a long way back, but it's the fact that all of this is already going on and it's already going into an antitrust, and you see all these large buys into this, and you'll continue to see it even after we talk about this next one. And October 16th, 2022 was what I was looking for, and it's this one right here. It says Broadcom said to seek early EU approval for VMware acquisition. It said Broadcom said to seek early EU approval for VMware acquisition, and it says it said to seek early European Union approval for its planned $61 billion acquisition of the cloud computing company VMware. Broadcom plans to argue to the European antitrust regulator that VMware competes with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, as it hopes to avoid protracted review by the antitrust regulator, according to the Reuters. Broadcom is trying to stay away from a Phase 2 extended review from the European Commission when it files for regulatory approval with the agency and sees the transaction as creating more competition in the cloud market where there are very big players, according to the report. So there's that news article, and it actually works. You'll see later on. Excuse me for a second. Sweet tea. The next news article we're going to take a look at is from 11/15, and it's this one right here. This is Broadcom notifies the European regulator of VMware takeover. And it says on November 15th, Broadcom has officially informed the European antitrust regulators of its proposed $61 billion acquisition of VMware, according to an email cited by Bloomberg. We have notified the deal to the European Commission as required by European law. The company said in the email statement, we continue to make progress with our vigorous regulatory filings around the world. The transaction is expected to be completed in Broadcom's fiscal year 2023. Broadcom announced in May the acquisition of cloud and virtualization company VMware. If the regulators approve the deal, it will be one of the biggest tech mergers in history. So there's that news article. We're going to take a look at next one is on November 23rd. And it's this one. It says Broadcom deal makes sense for VMware shareholders. And it says Mizuho analyst Greg Moskowitz reaffirmed a neutral on VMware with a $135 price target. VMware reported its partial third quarter results after the close, which were generally below expectations. Total revenue only grew 1% year over year, which came in well below the street's 5% growth forecast. Total billings, all that other stuff, announced that it is acquiring VMware for $61 billion in late May. Broadcom and VMware have targeted the acquisition to close in AVGO's fiscal year 23. KeyBank analyst Tom Blakely reiterated the sector weight rating of VMware shares pending the potential sale of VMware to Broadcom. I don't think I need to read all this. This is mostly talking about their analyst ratings, which I don't care about. The only thing I want it mentioned in that one is it actually had it actually mentioned the month of October for 2023 for that news article. So the next news article we're going to take a look at is December 8th, and it's this news article here. It says Broadcom to face in-depth European probe into VMware deal. And it says Broadcom is expected to see an in-depth European antitrust review of its planned $61 billion purchase of VMware. The full investigation is expected to be announced on December 20th, with a deadline for the antitrust body to complete its review in mid-May. MLEX said Broadcom isn't expected to make any remedy offers next week. The report comes after Broadcom filed a request for its VMware deal with the European Commission last month, and the agency set a December 20th deal. Deal reporter on Tuesday said that Broadcom was attending a state of play meeting with the European Commission this week to discuss the transaction. The Federal Trade Commission review of VMware and Broadcom is said to focus on conglomerate effects of the combination. According to a separate deal report item on Tuesday, the FTC is looking at conglomerate effects as there don't appear to any horizontal overlaps besides endpoint security, and there are no vertical concerns. The next news article is going to come from January 25th. That's this one right here. And now this one. So CMA probing into proposed Broadcom Vmware merger. So this is the one that you got to watch out for, because the CMA is the Competition and Markets Authority of the UK. They're the ones that blocked the um, Microsoft Activision merger just a couple weeks ago. But let's go over this one. It says the Competition and Markets Authority, or CMA, the UK's market regulator, said on Wednesday that it is opening a probe into Broadcom's proposed $61 billion acquisition of VMware. The regulator will start its investigation into the matter on January 26, 2023. The deadline for the CMA to declare its verdict on whether to refer the merger for a Phase 2 probe is March 22, 2023. In December 2022, the European Commission had launched an investigation into the merger deal, citing concerns that the transaction would allow Broadcom to restrict competition in the market for certain hardware components. This may result in higher prices, lower quality, and less innovation for businesses, customers, and ultimately consumers. In May 2022, the Broadcom had agreed to buy VMware for $61 billion in cash and stock. In addition, Broadcom would assume $8 billion of VMware's net debt. Broadcom is a provider of semiconductor and infrastructure software products, whereas VMware is a software provider offering mainly virtualization software, which interlopes with a wide range of hardware, including NICs, FC, HBAs, and storage adapters. All right, so we're going to jump forward in time, and we're going to go to March 22nd, where we got several articles to go over. And we're going to take a look at this one. It says Broadcom's planned VMware acquisition will lessen competition, UK regulator stated. The UK Competition and Market Authority said on Wednesday that Broadcom's planned $61 billion acquisition of VMware Inc. will lead to a substantial lessening of competition within the UK, and has invited the companies to offer undertakings to address its concerns. The regulator, which started its initial review into the deal in January, has set a deadline of March 29th for the companies to offer undertakings. If none are provided, then it will refer to the deal for further review. On December 20th, the European Union's antitrust watchdog said it would open an investigation into the deal, as it believed it would allow Broadcom to restrict competition in the market for certain hardware components. The Commission will have until May to make a decision on the merger. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has also been seeking information about the deal with the company, citing a previous regulatory filing. Broadcom said in December that it looked forward to continuing to work with European regulators as part of their review process. So you have the UK CMA, you have the European antitrust, and now you have the FTC looking into this merger. So we're also going to take a look at this news article right here. It says UK competition watchdog raises concerns over the Broadcom VMware $61 billion merger. And it basically says the same exact thing, right, as the last one. It says the regulator said Wednesday it will consider whether to accept the undertakings by the companies. But what we're looking at, right, they gave them until March 29th to accept the undertakings by the companies. but they didn't send them the notification until the 22nd, so they had 7 days to respond to it. Which, when you have a company taking over another company that's roughly the same size, it's kind of hard to get you to convince a antitrust committee of what they're trying to do, right? So they didn't have enough time to come up with a plan for this. So if you go to the next one, it says they're concerned over it. And then on the 29th, we're going to go to the 29th at 5:19. This one. This is Broadcom VMware to face further probe by UK's antitrust regulator over merger deal. Oh, crap. It says Broadcom and VMware will face further investigation by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, or CMA, over their proposed merger deal, the regulator said. Based on the information currently available to it, the CMA said the deal may be expected to result in a substantial lessening of competition within the market or markets in the UK. The in-depth regulatory probe comes from after Broadcom didn't offer any solutions to ease the regulator's concerns. As I said, they only gave them 7 days. I don't know how much you can come up with in that amount of time. The CMA set a September 12th deadline to make a decision on whether scupper or approve the merger. Broadcom and VMware did not immediately respond to the request for comment by MT Newswire. Now we're going to go to April 12th. I'm going to look at this one. It says Broadcom slips as European agencies send statement of objectives over to VMware. It says Broadcom shares slipped fractionally on Wednesday as the European Commission sent the semiconductor company a statement of objections over its proposed deal to buy VMware. In the statement, the EC said it was, that's the European Commission, said it was concerned that Broadcom may restrict competition in the global markets for the supply of FCHBAs and storage adapters by foreclosing competitors' hardware by delaying or degrading their access to VMware server virtualization software. VMware shares also fell fractionally following the statement. The EC now has until June 21st, 2023 to make a final decision on the in-depth investigation it opened on December 20th, 2022, back from a previous deadline of June 7th. In February, it was reported that Broadcom AVGO was likely to receive a warning from the EC, which it did. The next news article, there's 3 more. The next news article is on April 27th. And it's this one. It says VMware Broadcom oral hearing with the European Commission set for May 5th. An oral hearing with the European antitrust regulators in its review of Broadcom planned a $61 billion acquisition of VMware has been penciled in for May 5th, according to a Deal Reporter item. The report comes after European Commission sent Broadcom a statement of objections over its proposed deal to buy VMware. The EC has until June 21st to make a final decision, and we are making progress with our various regulatory filings around the world, having received legal merger clearance in Australia, Brazil, Canada, South Africa, and foreign investment control clearance in Australia, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, New Zealand, and the UK, said a Deal Reporter. So they're getting approvals from around the world. They just need the big ones to say yes. Next news article we're going to look at is from May 4th, and it's this one right here. And this is we're not going to look at it. We're just going to read it. This is Broadcom CEO Hawk Tan meeting with the EU antitrust regulators. So he went and had a meeting with them. And then the next news article we're going to look at is on 5/12, which was Friday. And it's this article right here. It says Broadcom expected to offer behavioral remedy in European Commission review of VMware. This is Broadcom is preparing to make a remedy to Europe's antitrust regulator as it attempts to gain approval for its planned $61 billion purchase. Broadcom is expected to offer a behavioral remedy to the European Commission to try and alleviate the regulator's concerns about interoperability. The company doesn't plan to make any structural offers, such as potential divestments. It means they're not going to sell off any part of the company. The deadline for the remedy offer is today, though Broadcom will likely ask for a 10 working day extension. Separately, Reuters report the European Commission extended a final decision of the regulator to rule on the deal by 3 days until June 26th. The deadline was extended after an agreement with the companies, an EC spokesperson told by Reuters. In February, the deal reporters said antitrust regulators around the world were said to be focused on interoperability and their review of the VMware AVGO deal. The EC sent Broadcom a statement of objectives over its proposed deal to buy VMware last month. In late March, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority moved its review of VMware Broadcom into a phase 2 or an in-depth investigation. So that's where we're at up to this point. I will continue to watch this merger as more news comes out, and then I will do smaller updates on this one. If you've made it to this point, which 90% of you will not, thank you for watching, and consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and come check me out in the Discord. The links will be down in the description below. All right, thank you. Have a good one.